Into Champion Select here, waiting to see what the first few bands will be to come out.
We've got Jen playing at Diamond 2. So we've got three Diamond level players and a Plat player. I'm not sure where Okasaki stands at, but definitely an exciting player if he's going to be working with the rest of this squad. Really exciting to see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. The first band will be the Xerath. Not typically a pick that you will normally see in your solo queue, so I'm assuming that is more of a target ban. Followed up by the Vladimir, another really strong AP solo laner that can just absolutely take over a game.
That target ban of Xerath might have been intentional based off experiment 626 as a 72% win ratio with that champion. So
Yeah, that is scary, and good Xerath is one of the scarier champions in League of Legends.
25 games this season at a 72% win ratio. That's massive stuff. So I'm sure that was a very targeted ban from ATA
Yeah,
just to get in there.
they are not about that life.
Absolutely not. Dangerous stuff to be sure. Now we're seeing what Jin is going to bring to the table. Two eyes, and he uses both of them to ban Morgana. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, we'll follow. Looks like that will be a ban towards Lua in that bottom lane. Uh, Followed up by the Camille and Ezreal. Okay, first pick will be the Thresh. It looks like that is going to be another contested pick. That is normally one of the I think it was 100% win rate in the last GameArena tournament that I cast. At
Interesting.
least pick ban wise.
We don't see too much of Ada playing Thresh. That's not something we see too commonly this season. It doesn't show up in his top five champions. But with what he brings to the table at top, it could be interesting.
These picks won't be in their order. They'll be swapped around later at the end of the champion select. So we most likely won't see Ada. That'll be the Thresh for the Lua in the bottom lane.
Probably, and Lou is the one I don't have stats for, so I assume that's generally the route that they're going to take for that.
Okay. Followed up by the Hecarim, another really strong jungler that, since the Conqueror changes, they moved him more toward from the Assassin Predator style build where you would just go in and trade one for one to this more Bruiser Brawlery style. Has the Flash right now, but normally you take the Ignite with the Conqueror and you're just an incredible duelist. You really can't be matched early.
And that's going to be huge as they look to establish early momentum in the set and really just overwhelm the Ashland team before they can get their synergy together. Like, no matter how much you play together, no matter how much experience you have, and no matter what level that experience is at, early on in a tournament, it's not even noon yet, here on this Saturday morning. It could be hard to get all that momentum together and really play with synergy early on, especially if you're overwhelmed right from the get-go.
Yeah, one thing we do need to keep in mind with Ashland picking up this Silas, we will have to pay attention to what picks to Infinity and Beyond decides to pick. Any champion they pick does give an ultimate to Silas, so they will have to choose which ultimates they want to give him. They did just pick up the Urgot, which will give the Fear Beyond Death. That execute is just tremendous.
Definitely a massive position for Ashland to put themselves in as they look to establish things early on. Because they're in a position where they know they're going to be overwhelmed early. There's going to be a lot of push. There's going to be a lot of things just rushing right in on them from their other competitors, and so it's going to be important for them to stay the course and really set that up over time. And that Silas pick could be massive for them as they look to set that up. Definitely a huge level of synergy that both of these teams have. You can clearly see that the strategy from TIA is going to be rush in and not allow Ashland to get their momentum together, not allow them to develop that synergy. And if they can manage to avoid that, then they'll be in a good spot. Because if they can stay the course and just hold things together and allow their experience and their synergy that they've developed from years of team play together, they can really get a lot of stuff going from their experience at the collegiate level.
Yeah, we do see solo lane bans coming out from 2 Infinity and Beyond. Not surprised to see Fiora get banned away. Actually, will follow up by the Jax and the Riven. A lot of top lane bans getting thrown at 2 Infinity and Beyond.
Definitely a lot of danger there. I mean, if you look at some of their experience that they have at top level, I mean, they have Experiment 626, who is a really solid top player that you were mentioning previously and has a lot of experience in that fashion. And so perhaps Ashland's just looking to negotiate a few of that and maybe negate some of his early momentum.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see the top lane bans coming through with the Urgot already getting picked up, though.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps they're just looking to avoid future things, or perhaps they see a level of synergy on the other side that might not be there normally, and they're just looking to make sure they don't get overwhelmed at top.
Yeah, Ashland University will go ahead and pick up the Syndra, uh, really strong mid laner for themselves right now, and she has gotten a little bit of love in the recent patches.
Talk a little bit more about that. Talk about some of the recent patches that have helped improve Syndra and what Ashland might be seeing as opposed to what we might have seen in seasons past.
Worlds is just coming up, so Syndra always gets buffed before Worlds. It's one of the champion. Corki gets buffed before Worlds. Syndra gets buffed before, and Oriana also gets buffed before Worlds.
We got the beautiful annual tradition of setting all that up, and now we're seeing Ashland follow through in their own right with that.
I'd actually love to see the Echo. He got a ton of love coming into patch 918, 20 seconds taking off his ultimate at all levels, and that is just absolutely massive. But we will see the Ari. It looks like Urgot going into the top lane. One thing I do want to criticize Ashland for a little bit is they used their last two bans at top lane, seeing that Urgot already get picked up, and they left the Rakan up. And Rakan Zaya is arguably the strongest pairing bot lane in League of Legends right now.
It seems that Ashland was pretty scared of what TIA could bring to the table in terms of just momentum and overwhelming them at top, and they really reacted to that big time. But they perhaps allowed a little bit of extra synergy that TIA might have been able to avoid otherwise.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how this bottom lane 2v2 goes. Really excited to see Okisaki and Applause in that Zyrakan pairing. We do have that lovely little 3-minute spectator delay coming up, so we'll have to bear with us through that shortly. But
we'll do a quick ad break.
Cool.
Yep. So it looks like, yeah, actually we'll go ahead and take that little bit of a break right now, getting ready to switch to the spectator screen.
Switch over to that 3-minute spectator delay, and in the meantime, this is beautiful GameArena in Hillard, Ohio. You might as well spectate that because you can't spectate anything else at the moment. Hillard, Ohio, wonderful place. GameArena, one of the preeminent esports areas in the entire country, if you ask me. I've been to a lot of them. GameArena is one of the better ones I've ever seen. Tucked away in Hillard, Ohio, gearing up for an opening in 6 months at one on Ohio State campus. The winner of this will qualify automatically for the league championships at that GameArena on Ohio State campus in 6 months. So huge stakes on the line here. Going to be real exciting. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back, everyone, here for Game 1, Ashland University versus 2 Infinity and beyond. Everyone picking up those starter items, looking to move out onto Summoner's Drift, starting out mostly looking like a 5v5 standard 5-point line of scrimmage.
So I'm curious. So I see 2 Infinity and Ambion, and I'm just wondering, what is an Ambion? What stands out about it? I know what Ambion is. Right? I've made this joke twice already. I don't know what an Ambion is.
My guess is it's some form of video game reference. I don't think it's a League of Legends reference.
I don't think so.
Because, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with lore and stuff like that. Haven't heard that term before, I don't think. If you know in Twitch chat, please feel free to let us know.
So there is a company called Thermo Fisher Scientific that makes something called Ambion. They're headquartered in Austin, Texas. This is not a sponsorship play. I'm just trying to figure out what this is. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about Ambion and figure out what's going on. Definitely exciting stuff early on, though, as we're seeing. We saw in the ban phase, we saw Ashland very, very worried about TIA's top lane and really the pressure that they could bring, as they're obviously going to try and push in early and do a lot of exciting stuff and really just completely mess up Ashland's momentum to the best of their ability early on. Ashland was scared of that and banned a lot of stuff in top lane, but gave TIA a lot of synergy across the board. So we're going to see if they can use that to really set themselves off to an early good start.
Yeah, we do have just standard starts here. A little surprising to not see Hecarim start on that bottom side. Normally you see him start on the blue buff, so he has that mana so he can just spam his Q. But with the Talisman start, he won't be hurting himself too much.
Some early battles here, just swinging away at some minions, just trying to buff up a little bit and get things going on the little guys. I always feel bad for the minions in League, you know? Like, their job is literally just to get sent out and just get mollywopped, and that's just never good.
Yeah, they're just literally walking sacks of gold, unfortunately.
Huh, I mean, what if they were literally walking sacks of gold?
Like
maybe
pinatas, but
right.
full of gold?
Like, that's why they're not very good at fighting, because they're just literally walking sacks of mineral.
They're sentient pinatas.
Ooh, that's a great band name, dude. Sentient Pinatas.
Yeah, I used to play bass for Sentient Pinata, so.
I used to be a Sentient Pinata. That's really, I thought you were going with that. Like, I used to be a pinata, but you know what's cool about me versus most pinatas? I had a brain and eyes, all that stuff. But, I mean, minions do have eyes somewhere in there, right? Like, they can see, I think.
I think so. I think see some little glowing specks here.
Little glowing orbs. I mean, they're either eyes or snow globes. One or the other. Probably eyes. But see, I never understood that. Like, I feel like the minions would do significantly better if they just like had some pep in their step. Like, they all seem so lethargic. They're just swanging their arms around real slow. I think if they hired a coach or somebody.
I think they're just in the middle of like existentialism, realizing that they're only created to die. So
I mean, there's billions of them. They can't all be having existential crises every time. Like, clearly, there have to be some minions somewhere out there with a little bit of intestinal fortitude. Please, like some with a little bit of mental toughness. Come on.
I don't know if they've been dealing with the same 2019 we have. We do have Hecarim coming in. Will go ahead and take the Lantern. Hook coming in onto Okazaki. We'll have to blow a Flash Ignite onto him also. Shields coming in from the Rakan. Will miss the binding onto the Thresh. Teleport coming in from Shen. First Blood going over to the Kaisa, but does get flipped over. Ada is trying to do whatever they can. Okazaki trying to get away. Does not have the flash. Did blow that earlier. Applause just trying to get away if they can. Silas going on. Will pick up Applause, and a lot of kills coming over. 4 kills over to Ashland University.
Massive early momentum from Ashland University. We saw TIA try to overwhelm them early on, and they were the ones that got overwhelmed. The Hunters became the hunted fast, and Ashland with a huge takeover early on in this match.
Yeah, and that is 3 members on the bottom side pushing in onto these early turret plates and double buffs on a Kaisa.
Roaring up, see, we saw Ashland really ban a lot of stuff from TIA on top level, and they were able to just roar in from the bottom this time and just completely take the bottom out on them, just overwhelming them early.
I'm just laughing because it was 5 minutes in and we had all 10 minutes into, 4 minutes in and we had all 10 members into the bottom lane. So it is going to be an exciting day.
Rushing right in on the bottom there, and Ashland the clear victors of that early opportunity, that early skirmish, all the way going to them. We saw TIA attempt to overwhelm them early on, but they just couldn't. They couldn't get in there. They couldn't leverage things. And in the end, they lost every single battle. Every single gunfight went to Ashland University, and now AU with a huge early lead. What does TIA have to do to even things out?
They really just need to try to slow the game down, not let Ashland take advantage of that huge gold lead. Currently sitting 2,000 gold up at 5 minutes, which is not something you'd traditionally see in League of Legends. So they need to try to slow the game down, stall it out, and
Ashland with huge early momentum. That's going to be massive because they're a team that plays with a lot of synergy, plays with a lot of focus on working together and really creating a good top to bottom level over across the entire board. And now we're going to see if they can handle that, if TIA can handle that, excuse me, as Ashland has an early lead and a lot of synergy to back it up. This might be a tough go for TIA if they can't even things out fast, because if the game goes further on, Ashland's going to be able to use their synergy and really just maintain that lead and just dominate.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of aggression coming in, trying to pick up this Thresh. Lua, one more auto will do him. Okazaki does go ahead and pick him up, but unfortunately for Hecarim does get caught out in his own jungle.
And Ada is just taking over. He's doing a lot of big stuff on the offensive for Ashland and really just carrying a lot of things, stepping back a little bit, but TIA with so far only one combat win. They've got to even things out and take bigger advantage of that, but Ada is just a wrecker right now.
Yeah, people always underestimate the damage that Thresh can do, but they did increase the percent health a little bit in the recent patches, so especially when you get that additional movement speed from the the attack speed from the drag through.
You see TIA trying to fall back and control this game a little bit. Going in on the offensive this time, and they might have something. Taking on the one-man wrecking crew in Ada. Is he able to make it back and get himself out of danger? This could be a tough spot for him for sure. Definitely a precipitous position he finds himself in.
Yeah, he does need to play really careful. Level 6 is available for Jhin, Fear Beyond Death, so he will have to pay attention to the execute that is available.
Trying to maintain on the defensive and just keep himself alive. Add a one-man wrecking crew early on in this set. We're going to see if he can maintain things up top there.
Yeah, we do see have a hook coming in onto Xayah. We do have Stand United available from Thresh. Most likely we'll see that coming down shortly.
Rushing in here, here's a good opportunity for Ashland if they can take care of it. Nothing doing yet for TIA. Ashland now up 8-1 as they're taking over early on. TIA has to find something quickly. They're down 7.
Yeah, actually will go ahead ignite onto Syndra, but has those fruits able to go ahead and heal up a little bit. And it looks like they will be pacing themselves towards the Infernal.
This is just a massive onslaught from Ashland so far. TIA has tried to mount a defensive combat action, but they can't do anything about it. They have one kill, and that's all. Even Ada was able to survive over in the one-on-one skirmish we saw on the other end.
Yeah, he was actually did take the Stand United to join that fight. So that's one thing we will have to pay attention to is he does have a teleport available, but also has the Stand United, so will be able to join any fight across the map.
And that's going to be huge because he's been a one-man wrecking crew so far. So if TIA is able to start mounting an offensive and get something back, they're also going to have to be wary of Ada sitting on the other side, able to just rush right in and act like a messiah figure and save the day a little bit.
Yeah, and just giving up your support at this point, you definitely can't complain about that.
This is a huge opportunity for Ashland to really seal things off. They've rushed out to an early lead, and TIA has to find something quick. Massive gold advantage as well for Ashland, and this is just not a great position for TIA. There's still time, but it's a very unfortunate start that puts them in a precipitous position, to be sure.
Yeah, already have the Mana Moon on the Kai'Sa. We'll get very early stacking on that. Did miss the hook on Thresh, but a lot of damage getting done onto him as he does get the passive route through.
And here come the reinforcements in to save the day. Okazaki was kind of walloping on him a little bit, but just stepping back and doing what he can to even things out. Looking for an opportunity here is now Ada facing directly off with Jhin as this skirmish begins and continues from earlier. Definitely a huge moment there, as if Ada can continue to just mount his offensive streak and just be a killer, it's going to be real bad for TIA.
Yeah, in this top lane 1v1, we will have to pay attention to when Ada decides to use Spirit's Refuge. He can block so many autos coming through with the minute. Yeah, see, we do see the
come rushing in. That was a huge moment there. Jhin thought he had something roaring in, but Ada was able to save the day for himself just a little bit with that clutch block.
Yeah, blocking a ton of damage coming in through with that Gatling gun.
And that's huge because if he, with the offensive firepower we've seen from him, if he can continue to block things with that level of efficacy, it's going to be real bad for TIA because there's not going to be anything they can do to take out this one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, Death Sentence comes out, won't find anyone. Applause is doing whatever they can, trying to keep Okazaki safe in this 2v2, but when you already are playing against an AD carry that has a completed item, it's just, lane is kind of already over.
And now Applause and Okazaki here.
Death Sentence will connect onto Actually, we do have Rakan using the ultimate, trying to get whatever they can. Blade Caller will go ahead and pick up the Thresh. Ignite going on to Okazaki. 2 more autos will do him in. Actually,
Applause and Okazaki, both with low health. Applause did manage to get that kill here, but they're both in a precipitous spot over there. They got to do something about it. And here comes Ada and
we do
Gene
have
roaring
Hijack
in.
coming out. Fear Beyond Death might get used from the Sylas here soon. Actually, Fear Beyond Death coming out from Urgot will go ahead and pick up the kill onto the Urgot.
Jin was on the ropes. Burton tried to come in and save the day. Nothing came of it. Now they're both done. 10-2 Ashland.
Yeah, Ruthless in a really tricky position here in a 1v2 against 2 really low health members in the bottom lane, but it looks like Jeem and Ada are just trying to push up and get whatever turret plates they can up from the top side.
That's a huge opportunity, and a huge opportunity for Ruthless. If he can manage to distract them and keep things going there, they're both at low health. It could be a chance for him to pull something pretty crazy out, but, you know, it's definitely a spot where if he goes down, they're free to go and try and even things out on the other side. Going to have to be careful.
Yeah, and definitely unfortunate for Jin. Does have to blow his teleport to get back up to that top side to keep more plates from going down.
We're seeing both teams fall back over here. Okazaki and Applause, both at low to medium health. Definitely a situation where if they go down, it could start to get pretty dire pretty fast. And now here comes Ruthless and Ayua trying to make something out of it. Applause and Okazaki have to manage this very carefully, have to negotiate this situation, or else they could find themselves in a really tough spot. Have to defend this turret.
Yeah, most likely we'll be seeing Ruthless here trying to back and reset.
He was definitely in a spot where it was tough for a while. He was in that clutch 1v2, real tough spot. As now Jin is over here just trying to rush along and make something happen for himself. His team is still behind a lot, but this is a huge opportunity for TIA, and they won't get too many more. They have to take something out of this.
Yeah, that was really key, though, for TIA. Able to get the kill onto the Thresh, get themselves a little bit of gold onto the Xayah. Need that Essence Reaver to really get going. She definitely depends on those 3 items.
Now here we go. We see Experiment 626 roaring up. Fish and Tux and Jeem both over here, eschewing to eschew the combat for the moment. And now Ada and Jin still railing along. These 2 are arch nemesis right now. Just trying to get something out of it as now Jeem's over here trying to make something happen.
Yeah, he does have a CS lead, but that is only because Ada has done such a good job prioritizing his position in that bottom lane, using the Stand United, which did end up giving Jin a little bit of lane pressure. But it looks like they are eyeing themselves towards the Rift Heralds. Just about 13 minutes here, so if they use it right after they take it, we'll be able to get some turret plate gold.
Applause just wailing away on things down there. Okazaki and Applause staying tight together. Here comes Burton. They're just trying to rack some stuff up over here without engaging this fearsome Ashland team. They're trying to avoid combat situations that have so far been very unfortunate for them.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to get an objective trade. Trade this Ocean Drake for the Rift Herald. Does get summoned up in the top lane, and this most likely will be the Tier 1 top turret going down. First turret brick is available.
Looking for the moment is now here we go. 1 turret gone over there up on the top, and now Ashland with a huge commanding lead as these minions are slowly being decimated by Jeem. This has to be a situation where TIA needs to find something quick, and here they come looking to make something happen. Burton and Experiment 626 coming in to save the day just a little bit as Jin and Ada are still just roaring away at each other up on the top. A Herculean battle of heavyweights up on the top, and we're looking to see what comes out of that as Jeem and IUH just trying to make something happen. Roaring off in the center. Experiment 626 surrounded. Has to make something out of it. And now this could be a moment where a skirmish is coming in quickly. Looking for their opportunity as we have a meet-up right here in the center of it all. Center stage for both teams.
Yeah, all 4, not all 4, but 4 members of Ashland University.
It's all 4 of them that are
into
there. Right.
Well, and Thresh does have Stand United available, so it can become all members at any time. Just
definitely a point where Ashland knows that they have a commanding lead, and they really could seal it off pretty fast. They have 4 people roaring in there trying to take care of combat, but we also have Ada up here. He's been a wrecking crew, and if they need him to step in and flex his muscles a little bit, you know he will. You know he will.
Yeah, unfortunately, poor positioning here from TIA. I think they were trying to move towards bot side to possibly pick up Ada, but end up not finding anything, just giving away the mid lane turret.
Jeem caught in a brief 2-on-1, but his team is here to save the day.
Will come through. Last auto will pick him up right after the ultimate. Flash coming out from Ruthless does get ignited. Okazaki trying to find him. Blade Caller is available. Will pick up the shutdown with the Blade Caller, but will go down themselves in the process.
Able to take care of business there a little bit. Ruthless was able to rock some stuff out for himself, but it just wasn't enough, as it turns out that everybody that took him down went down as well. Ada is just destroying these folks right now.
Yeah, really good job on Okazaki so far, trying to pick up whatever the gold they can. Gene does pick up Experiment 626 on that Ari, and it looks like they're just continuing a brutal mid lane push.
Jeem and Ada just ransacking everybody and just destroying this other team. A turret down as well. Jeem and Ada are unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, we currently have 3 members of Ashland University sitting at 11 kills, 11 of 14 kill participation. So really good just team play so far from Ashland.
An unquenchable thirst of blood on the offensive level for Jeem and for Ada, and also the entire team just supporting. It's that synergy that we knew they would have. I thought we would see TIA trying to roar in and get a lot of offensive momentum. They attempted to, but were ultimately unsuccessful, as AU is just playing with perfect offensive synergy and absolute wrecking crew right now.
Yeah, unfortunately for TIA, that top half of the map is kind of losing out. They just need to try to stop the bleeding. Try to get that Zaya to 3 items. Just got a lot of shutdown gold onto Okazaki from the kill onto Ruthless. So just have to see how quickly they can get the Zaya to 3 items.
It's absolutely, we've seen certain opportunities where these teams have been able to do something with things that they've gotten. We've saw opportunities where Ruthless was able to step back and really just close things out for AU, even when things got difficult. But we've seen Experiment, Okazaki, and Applause all bring things up on their own end and get some kills to even things out. Jin was holding his own against Ada up in the top. Certainly not an easy thing to do. So there is potential here for TIA, but they have to do something to stop this bleeding, as you were talking about.
Yeah, 40 CS lead for Kaisa in the bottom lane.
Looking for an opportunity here. Applause and Okazaki just trying to roar their way back as both teams have reset. They have to do something quickly, though. Experiment 626 waiting up. He sees Jeem and he sees IUA, and he's trying to do something about it, waiting for his opportunity. See if something might come for him here.
Yeah, Experiment 626 in a bad position. Do have the dashes available from Silas, but will actually have to blow those.
And here it comes. This could be a big offensive opportunity. Here comes Jin roaring up. Nothing coming of it, as now 4 members of AU are hanging out up there.
Yeah, Stand United is available. Shen on the top side pushing in that tier 2 turret. So the longer Ashland University can just stall. Oh, we do have Ultimate getting blown by Rakan. Massive fight coming in. Experiment 626 will just get wiped away. Actually, sorry for that.
And now 2 unfortunate situations where Experiment 626 has lost clutch opportunities in combat. Jeem just roaring away, and now a triple kill. AU is out to a absolutely commanding lead.
Yeah, Ashland University picking up the ace.
That was a big opportunity for TIA, but Ashland just able to seal the deal in every offensive engagement and rack up massive kills there. It was TIA's chance. Experiment 626 fell, and then he was joined in Valhalla by many of his teammates, and now a 19-4 lead. This is huge, and it's going to take a lot for TIA to make it back because they can't seem to win any combat moments.
Yeah, Applause tried to pull the trigger at the beginning of that play, popped the quickness, popped the flash, popped the grand entrance, was able to get in there on top of Ruthless, but Stand United is available, and that provides such a massive shield with Shen above level 11.
And AU just has this opportunity to hang back, and even if they do start to lose a combat moment, which they aren't very often, they can come in and just power themselves up by roaring back in. It's just a tough position for TIA to find themselves in, and we're going to see what they can do. What is available to them in order to even things out? They're at a massive deficit at the moment.
The one thing that they really have to look forward to is they have fantastic wave clear between the Ari, the Zaya, and the Urgot. So the longer the game goes, if they do have inhibitors going down, just between the Orbit Deception from Ari and the Blade Caller, we do have Experiment 626. I'm sorry, Ruthless actually does get caught out. Unfortunately, the kill goes over to Jin. Probably wanted to put the gold onto our Experiment 626. Gets flayed and hooked back onto turret. Lua will go down. But
we're seeing 4 members of AU just rush in and take care of things offensively, as even Fish and Tux was able to get in there and get the 20th kill for his team. Just an offensive powerhouse right now across all 5 members of this board.
Yeah, but they do trade 2 for 1, so that is a positive play for TIA.
finally one for TIA is they haven't been able to mount anything that adds up to a net positive yet. Even if they got a kill, it was usually followed by 3 members of their own team going down in the fire. They need more of that going forward.
Yeah, if we turned off the user interface right now, well, at least turned off the clock, you would have no idea that we were at pre-Baron time right now.
Right, this has just been a massive rush down moment for AU. All 20 minutes of this has just been a complete onslaught. Finally, TIA finding an opportunity to get a positive interaction. They're going to need more of that going forward because they're in a real dangerous position, or at least they have been for much of this early set, as Ashland got out to one of the more commanding leads that I've seen.
Yeah, at this point, TIA needs to stop the bleeding, needs to try to just get the point where they can farm up, get the Zaya to 3 items, but also we need to pay attention. There is 1,400 gold of bounties sitting on Ashland University right now. 3 members currently haven't been killed. Do have Hijack did pick up the Fear Beyond Death, and that will be Urgot getting pulled into his own
Heat
grinder.
onslaught once again as that powerhouse offensive group of Jeem, Fish and Tux, and an IUA in this case were just able to rush in and absolutely destroy every opportunity that this other team had. Huge opportunity, though, for TIA, as you're saying. If they can manage to get a kill, there's a lot of gold swinging their way. A big bounty on those heads, but the reason for that is these heads have been undecapitatable. Nothing coming for TIA early on, at least not in response to those 3.
Yeah, I think we need to just have better target prioritization out of TIA. I do see Ashland University on the Baron, and it will just be uncontested.
If they can manage to isolate and really get something, because they were able to get a few 2-for-1 moments, TIA was, as we've progressed a little bit, because they were able to isolate players on the other team and just pick away at them. If they can manage to do that to one of those 3 powerhouse players, it could even things out a little bit quicker than you might think.
Yeah, that's really what we need to see. Currently 1,000 gold sitting on that Silas between the shutdown gold and regular kill gold. So if we can get that onto Okazaki, it'll definitely get him moving.
Definitely a huge moment there, but Jeem so far has been unstoppable, and Ada has been huge in the early game as he is a massive threat. Every interaction he's had from a combat perspective, he's won, and there's always the potential for him to step in and really change things. If TIA is able to get themselves on their own momentum, he can equalize it very fast.
Yeah, both teleport and stand united available, so we will be looking to see Shen just on that split push, trying to force Jin to respond to him and then take a 5v4 fight.
Looking for a moment here. Jin is definitely a dangerous player, and that these players for Ashland have to be aware of. And a certain level of wariness has definitely been exercised, as Jin's only lost 1 combat interaction so far from what we've seen. And
yeah.
As opposed to the rest of his team that has a little bit more struggle in combat. Jin is someone that Ashland has to be wary of. If he can really get some momentum moving, he could equalize things for TIA fast. But it's going to take 5 people synergizing in order to stop a team that so far had so much offensive synergy and just been a 5-team wrecking crew.
Yeah, but unfortunately with a 12,000 gold lead at this point in the game, I'm not really sure if there's room for TIA to come back.
There might not be. They just have to do their best to handle these offensive moments. If they get something, they have to win the combat interaction. They just have to.
Onto the Ari. Lua trying to get whatever he can, but we do have the quickness coming out. Burton may just trying to get himself away. Ada unstoppable, picking up the Zaya.
And Ruthless stepping in as well. Ada just Ada cannot be killed.
Yeah,
he cannot be stopped.
dashing up into the base all by himself. Dash comes through 4. Shutdown gold for the Urgot, actually. There's that big 1,000 gold that they needed. Only 1 member goes down for Ashland so far, though, as opposed to the jungler and Okazaki going down. Their wave clear is pretty much gone.
Jeem was finally taken down there for Ashland, but it was a huge run for him, and Ada still remains unimpeachable and unquenchable thirst for
Death
blood.
Sentence unfortunately connects through the charm, and that will be 2 more members. This is most likely going to be the game with death timers above 30 seconds for 2 members.
Massive stuff there. Ayua was able to step in and take care of business. Ruthless was able to take care of business. And Ada getting yet another kill. This guy has been absolutely unstoppable so far across all 24 minutes of this game.
Yeah, 3 members here for TIA trying to stay alive, trying to find whatever they can. Do find the root collar onto Lua, sitting at about half health, but they're just trying to protect Ruthless.
And roaring in Ruthless. Ruthless has lost a couple combat interactions, but fortunately he's got a team of 4 people with massive synergy and huge potential there, saving his day.
Yeah, moving their way down towards that Mountain Drake is just sitting there. Most likely won't be contested. Do have the Hecarim trying to move down, but I think he's just trying to get whatever gold he can out of his own jungle.
Ada briefly isolated and able to make it back and join the rest of his team, and now all 5 of them slaying that dragon, a masterclass of offensive firepower. TIA has to find something quick, but I'm not sure if that opportunity even exists for them.
Yeah, at this point, it is just Ashland University's game to lose.
Huge opportunity, and with the level of synergy and just the clean play that we've seen out of them so far, I'm not sure that they're going to give TIA any opportunity to even begin to make this back. What does TIA have to do here to even have a shot? Is there anything?
They just need one massive fight where they can get a ton of... if they can pull an ace, possibly pull a Baron. They did just pick up that tier 1 mid turret. They have the tier 1 top turret gone also, but in terms of objectives, they're not even really sitting pretty. Do have 2 minutes until the Baron. Infernal Drake in 4 minutes, but there's double Mountain, so it's going to be so easy for Ashland University to take down the Baron between the double Mountain and the percent health that comes through with the Kaisa passive.
And the major issue for TIA is they have to win a combat interaction and win it in big fashion, and they haven't even come close to doing that at any point. They won one 2v1. That was it.
Yeah, I do have Ada getting collapsed on. This may be the fight that they're looking for. It just dashes over the wall, though.
Ada realizing that he can do a lot on the offensive level, but maybe he can't beat 5 people at the same time,
Yeah,
so he elects to dip out of dodge real quick.
Buys plenty of time for his team to pick up a tier 2 turret up on that top side.
Huge evasive action from Ada there. The first time we've seen him not just rush in and engage, perhaps because 5 champions staring you down is a touch intimidating. It's like a scene in a movie where the little kid, you know, is faced off against 5 giant buff dudes. I'd run personally. I don't know about anybody else. And now a spot where TIA have to isolate him once again, and perhaps a few times if they can manage to get away with it. They have to isolate Ada, and they have to get something out of it quickly.
Yeah, we do have this top turret getting pulled down. Okazaki does have the death sentence go down on him, but just gets absolutely wiped out. Ada in the bottom side does have Stand United. Will be able to join his team soon. Ooh, we do have the Onslaught of Shadows get hijacked from the Silas, and this most likely will just be the game going
Fish
over
and
for
Tux
Ashland.
and Gene both roaring in as now Jin is the only one remaining. The big, strong last survivor. Can he hold on for TIA, or is Ashland going to put this one away in under half an hour?
Yeah, that will be the GG going over. 27-minute victory, 36 kills in that game. Ashland themselves pulled more than a kill a minute that game. Really, really dominant play.
Absolutely incredible stuff. We saw Ada, we saw Jeem, and we saw Fish and Tux just roaring in on an offensive level and not giving TIA any quarter, any opportunity, any chance, and great play from Ruthless and IUA. They both ran into a couple issues here and there, but I mean, there was nothing TIA could mount against that sheer offensive firepower. Just so many kills early on. We saw 4 kills in the first 5 minutes. It was preposterous.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see that 5,000 gold difference between Ruthless and Okazaki. There's really nothing you can do when you're sitting at 2 items and the Executioner's calling if you're Okazaki. You really need that Infinity Edge, but never came through.
It was just a spot where I expected TIA to rush in and establish a lot of offensive momentum for themselves. I really thought they would, and you saw everything they were gearing up to do. It was clear that they wanted to rush in from top lane and just dominate things early on, and I'm not sure they were ready for the inverse to happen. I'm not sure they were ready for Ashland University to provide an offensive firepower unlike anything we could have expected, rushing in with one of the bigger offensive onslaughts that I've seen recently, and just not giving TIA any chance to establish anything early, and then they just kept wailing on them. No chance for a comeback whatsoever.
Yeah, really unfortunate, but I think we will be taking a little bit of a break as we get ready to move into the next game.
We'll be back